Hello, welcome to Crypto News.
Today is the 8th of March, 2023, and the top news for crypto is as follows.
And we're going to go to our banks and we're going to Silvergate, which officials from the government agency FDIC appears to have gotten inside the Silvergate offices, and as the whole market is saying there is a concerted effort to save this encryption company. And beyond that, even the White House has its eyes on Silvergate, as the White House press secretary said that the White House is aware of the situation regarding Silvergate and is closely monitoring reports about the cryptocurrency bank itself. And then Silvergate, which I hope is saved, because if it's not saved, we're not going to do too well. We're going to go to Grayscale, which Grayscale, let me remind you, has sued the SEC because the SEC won't approve the spot Bitcoin ETF that Grayscale wants. And just yesterday, Grayscale and the SEC just concluded the hearing that they had in court on this particular issue. And from what we're told, we're going to have to wait 3 to 6 months to get a decision from the court. However, already some people are very happy and believe that Grayscale has up to 70% chance of winning the lawsuit against the SEC. And this is very, very positive news, something some people have seen behind closed doors that we haven't seen, and it's very good news. However, I would remind you that as with the Ripple case, that Ripple is close to beating the SEC. What the SEC is doing is dragging out the litigation as long as possible in order to financially exhaust the opponent. If we don't see something like this in the Grayscale case, we may very soon have our own spot Bitcoin ETF. And this will be great news for the crypto market because it will help so many big investors put their money into the market. And we will move on to Binance US as well. Well, as you know, once again, the SEC has some issues with the acquisition that Binance US wants to do, which is basically Binance US wants to buy up all of Voyager. And today we learned that the judge has overruled the SEC's objections, and in very, very simple terms has given Binance US the green light to buy Voyager. However, it should be said that the deal is not yet complete. Nonetheless, the SEC has taken another slap on the wrist from this opening front. Now we're going to go to our currencies and we're going to go to Bitcoin, where the block company, headed by Mr. Jack Dorsey, has announced plans for a mining development kit. We don't know exactly what this is, but from what we hear it will be a tool to help Bitcoin exiles, and especially small Bitcoin miners, to make their business much more profitable. And as the block company itself says, in the coming months it will be retrieving additional details on what exactly this kit is. And we'll be moving on to SUI as well. SUI is partnering with Alibaba Cloud, and in very, very simple terms, Alibaba will provide SUI with nodes and a data broker infrastructure for SUI's network. And let me say at this point that SUI is one of the most centralized currencies in the crypto market. It's the sibling of Aptos, a currency that, like Aptos, SUI was created with developer money and technology from the down Facebook coins. And as I already said, it's a very centralized currency, and it's not consistent with the crypto market standards, which is decentralization. We're going to move on, and Avalanche, that an esport giant called TSM, is moving forward with Web3 gaming on top of Avalanche. In very, very simple terms, this giant is going to create crypto subnets on Avalanche so that it can run esport games on Avalanche. Let's just say that this is great news for Avalanche. It will make it much better known, and its network will be used even more. And just to say at this point that the gaming industry as we speak is one of the biggest industries we have in humanity. And it has far surpassed even the football industry. So this is no small partnership for Avalanche. We're going to go to our last news item of the day, and we're going to go to SHIBARIUM. SHIBARIUM, which is the layer 2 that Symbenu wants to put out, finally announced that it will have a public beta this week. We don't know once again an exact date. However, SHIBARIUM, Symbenu's second layer, is closer than ever to being released in some form at last. And we're also going to go to the crypto market, which is a bit bearish today with Bitcoin having lost all 50 EMA, and we're going to go find the 100 EMA. And what's the reason for the decline? The reason is Mr. Jerome Powell, who came out and announced that interest rates in America may be much higher than investors expect them to be. And this statement of his, as you have already understood, has spooked the markets because too many investors believe that interest rates in America will not go up 0.25% but will go up 0.5%. And unfortunately, another piece of news that is helping the Fed raise rates is this news right here, is that jobs are out in America. In very, very simple terms, jobs have come out in America, which jobs in America show an increase of 517,000. Whereas the forecasts were saying that jobs would only increase by 187,000. As you have already figured out, jobs in America have grown much more than they expected. And the best part for them is that their unemployment rate has dropped from 3.6% to 3.4%. But why is this a negative for us? It's negative because when you have such a low unemployment rate, you have a very, very strong economy. And the Fed and Mr. Powell sees that and tells you, well, I can raise interest rates more than I would raise them because my economy is strong, and it can withstand this rate hike. And already from the CME group we see that 75% of investors now believe that the Fed will come out and say 0.5% on rates rather than 0.25%. And let me remind you at this point that the last time we saw this chart, the percentage of investors was close to 80% that the Fed would raise rates 0.25%, not 0.5%. But that, as you see today, has changed dramatically. And we're just waiting for the news.
And that was the top news for crypto. Today, 8th of March, 2023.
Let me remind you that the content you watch, it's content created for educational purposes only. And in no way constitutes investment advice, only investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like and a comment, which comments can be replied to at the end of the episode. Be well everyone, have a good day.